And what's up, everybody? Back another episode of Strollin and Trollin. Like Miffrey, how's it going?
I don't know. You'll have to ask him.
True.
Jeffy,
No,
how's
it's
it
good.
going?
I'm jeffing it up.
Good to know.
We're saving small talk for the next episode, so.
That's right, because I just got back from traveling abroad. Oh my, how is that?
It tastes almost exactly like the Oreo Coke.
That's not good.
I know, you people hate that stuff.
I'll still probably get it. Anyway.
I can't wait to mix it with alcohol.
True. That's right, guys. Because there wasn't an episode last week, because I was abroad traveling for 2 weeks. Not really traveling abroad. So, I just got back from a trip, a cruise, mind you. The target destination was The target destination was Iceland, but there were some other stops along the way.
Do they have Target in Iceland?
They do not. In fact, they do
Well,
not. Target is not an international company, so. They tried to go to Canada and failed royally, and haven't tried anything since. So that's my piece of retail knowledge for the day. But yeah, I was already wanting to talk about this trip on the podcast before I left, because I knew it was going to be awesome. I knew it was going to be massive. I knew it was going to see some really cool stuff.
You know what else is mad?
As you can tell by this cough that I have, a lot more happened than I expected. Or could really have hoped. We're talking about all of it today. We're gonna cover it all.
This really is like a rant video that me and Lycus are just sitting in on.
I know. I don't even know what I'm gonna say. He's gonna say something, and then I'm gonna be like, "Oh yeah, he told me that in the Discord server for no reason."
We'll have to ask engaging questions.
How did you feel when that happened, Pringleson?
We'll get to that. I have a lot of different feelings. I'm gonna break this up into a few different.
I love it when he freezes. I love it when he freezes on them.
Few different segments. The reason why I'm coughing will be at the end, because it happened at the end. The first day will be its own little segment, because that was a multitude of crazy experiences on its own. Then I'm going to review the boat I was on, and then I'm going to go through each of the ports, how they were, what we did, everything. I got a few stories to work in there, and then I'll talk about the not so fun part that I'm still dealing with. So, how it all started, the first day, way back when. It was like 2.5 weeks ago at this point. We had to leave the house. You know what, Lycus?
I just said I didn't watch it. That's all.
He really hit you with the "listen here, you little shit."
We had to leave the house at like 4 in the morning. I don't recommend doing that if you can avoid it. It was not fun at all, but you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. Then we got to the airport, and I gotta say, this was the first time that I'd ever flown on an airplane in almost a decade and a half. So it had been a long time, and my experience flying the first time was not the greatest. So I was a little nervous going in, especially in lieu of all of the plane crash stories that had happened earlier this year. Made me a little nervous. pleased to say, though, that the flight, because we flew to New York, where the port was that we would leave, and that flight was perfectly fine. In fact, I slept pretty good on that flight, probably because I was tired, and the seats were pretty comfortable. And they gave us free snacks, which I liked. So,
Yippee!
So that was fine. Before we got on, we had to go through a bunch of security checks though before we got on the plane, and we got stopped by TSA, so that was fun.
Are you just gonna breeze over that?
Well, they had to do extra screening on my dad. I don't know why, but they did. So,
What a great news reporter. By the way, I just gotta say, plane crashes happen all the time, and they've been happening all the time. There have not been, like, as far as I'm aware, I am speaking a little bit out of my ass here. There have not been, like, an increase in plane crashes. There's been an increase in coverage of plane crashes.
that doesn't make me feel any better.
Well, you're not on a plane, are you?
Not anymore.
Get good, kid.
So anyway, we got on the plane, did the plane was fine, well, get off the plane. And then we had to catch we did a lift over from, well, it was actually, the port was in New York, we actually landed in New Jersey. I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast before. New Jersey is such a depressing place. I mean, you get out of the airport and it's literally like, that's how you know they filmed The Sopranos in New Jersey. Like, it's just Sopranos world. All the cars look like cars that Tony Soprano would drive on roads that Tony Soprano would drive on. There's a ton of overpasses, tons of industrial work. There's barely any trees. Nobody's happy to be there. It's so fucking depressing and so bleak, and they call New Jersey the armpit of America. It's true. It's true. There's very few redeeming qualities about New Jersey, and they don't nearly outweigh all of the bad qualities of it that you get by just stepping out of the fucking airport. So that's my.
By the way, shout out to everybody who's listening from New Jersey.
If you're living in New Jersey,
we love you.
Don't leave New Jersey.
No movies.
No Jersey. We'll say though, we got breakfast at the airport before leaving, and we got Shake Shack. I had no idea that Shake Shack served breakfast, but holy shit, they serve good breakfast.
What'd you have?
Tater tots with like a breakfast sandwich with a really good sauce on it that they also give it, and then you can get like regular burgers and shakes as well. At that time, which I should have done. Looking back on it, like the sandwich was good, but it wasn't as good as like their actual burgers. I just didn't know that they served at 9:30 a.m. I didn't know that they served regular burgers and fries and whatnot. But so that was
Tater
a pleasant,
sounds so good.
Pleasant surprise. Very, very pleasant. Then we caught a lift to the airport, and or not to the airport, to the ship, so we could board the ship. And well, we almost didn't even make it on the boat because we got caught in a 4-hour traffic jam trying to get into New York City.
To be clear, you Ubered. You didn't like rent a car. You kind of skipped over that information.
We took
That's
a lift.
important information.
We took a lift. I said we took a lift.
When you said that,
like a car company.
I didn't know you meant that.
I got a lift.
I wasn't sure what you meant by that.
I hitchhiked in New Jersey, which means I wouldn't. If you hitchhike in New Jersey, you're not coming back. Okay.
Hey, you belong to New Jersey.
Yeah, they claim you as your property. But anyway, so that was frustrating. I got a headache and I was tired and wanted to get on the ship because the boarding time we'd be on the ship by 2:30, and we didn't even pull into the port until 1:45. So it was a little scary because we didn't know if we were going to make it on or not. Thankfully, we got on fine. There was a ton of people behind us. We were good. And then we boarded the ship. And then we got to start exploring the boat and, get to explore stuff, get settled in. They took forever to give us our luggage because God knows why. But eventually we did get it.
Does he?
And then, so 4 p.m. was when the boat was supposed to leave. And so everybody's out on the deck looking at the New York skyline, boiling our asses off because it's like 120 degrees in New York City. And we pull out of the port, go like this, and the boat stalled. Yep, we got about maybe 30 feet, and engines failed.
When I sent you that Meat Canyon Cruise video, I thought it was too late. I was like, God, I gotta send him this before he goes on this and dies. Turns out, not only was it already too late, you had already seen the video, and you were already dead.
I was.
Welcome back to Ghost Cast.
True. It was a little nerve-wracking. Thankfully, again, we weren't we were just in the middle of the Hudson River. We weren't out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, thankfully. But some interesting things that happened during this time. We saw Steven Spielberg's yacht go by, which was wild. I hope he was on it. I don't know if he was, but it's kind of cool.
He was definitely not on it.
Yeah, most of the time they're not.
But you never know. He was in New York.
We do know.
Filming
we do know.
or working on something at the time, so
we do know.
What is he filming right now?
I don't remember what.
Spielberg?
Yeah.
He's
is he filming?
I don't remember if
I guess. Jamie, pull it up.
Fine. I'll use my disheveled, destroyed cell phone to look up this information.
Peep it.
Oh,
with the bloated, with the big back.
It actually doesn't have a big back. Like, the screen came off. Like, the screen on the front is, open. I don't even know if I can show it very easily. Yeah, I don't know.
What?
But, I don't know. Maybe I can... You see how it's, a little bit... Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Oh, my back is loaded up.
So maybe it's not even the battery, but either way, something happened.
All that. It couldn't handle all of the naked anime women you keep on your phone.
Oh, yeah.
So, are you gonna get a new phone?
Oh yeah, I made that as a joke while I was supposed to be doing something else.
Is he bugging out for you too?
A little bit.
Okay, because he's missing every other frame for me, and I couldn't tell if it was me or what's happening here. I can't tell if he's talking or if he's just frozen.
Now I am.
Pingle.
Anyway,
yeah, I don't know. It seems like he's working on untitled science fiction film.
Woohoo!
So,
who's the guy who did Avatar? Peter Jackson? No. Jamie, pull it up.
I don't know. Fine, I'll look again. I'm looking it up.
Thank you, Jamie.
He's working on Avatar 5 coming out in 2031.
First Avatar,
the one that the
has to
Avatar
come
movie
out.
the Avatar movie that's coming out this year is Fire and Ash.
That's 3,
and it's,
right?
Yeah, James Cameron.
Oh.
Oh yeah. So, While we're all just sitting there trying to figure out A, what happened, B, what's going to happen next, everybody kept saying the same two words that nobody really should have been saying because it's bad voodoo. And they kept saying poop cruise. Everybody know what the poop cruise is?
Everybody was saying
No.
poop cruise?
Yeah, everybody kept bringing it up.
I know what
Oh, is
poop
that like
cruise
Macbeth?
That is such a weird theater kid reference for one, and two, no, poop cruise is not like Macbeth.
Do you get it though?
No, I
Tyler,
don't get.
do you
I don't get what you're
So,
saying.
like,
there.
there's
Explain
like a
yourself.
weird thing that I learned when I was in my single high school theater production is that when is that you don't is if you're working on a reproduction of Macbeth, you don't ever say that. Like you don't say Macbeth when you're on stage or whatever because it's bad luck or something.
Like a legendary moment just happened to me. I just played a Misty and got 7 heads-up coins in a row.
Oh my god.
Never seen that before in my
I haven't
life.
opened that app in like a month. I feel like I'm so behind.
A new set just released today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's Ho-Oh and Lugia.
Oh, that's good.
Dating the video! Woo! Speaking of dating,
Pringleson, Suitor.
I got both of them.
Oh, good stuff.
I'm one step closer to completing my amiibo. We'll talk about more in the small talk episode, but I am excited to talk with Like and Mifree about Donkey Kong.
Oh yeah. Donkey Kong is very, very good.
We'll talk about it more.
Yeah.
So, like, so you don't know what the poop cruise is? About 10 years ago,
I forgot that's what we were talking about.
there was a carnival cruise that lost power in the middle of the ocean, and the plumbing stopped working. So they gave everybody biohazard bags to, shit in. And
Oh, that's what it's called that.
they ran out of bags, and then the toilets overflowed, and the whole boat got all the carpets, all the walls, everything got infested with actual shit. And they were stuck in the middle of the ocean for several days and ran out of food. They made it a free bar for everybody, which only made it worse. It was an absolute
You know what else
disaster.
is worse? You know what else is worse about that? They still use the cruise to this day, and apparently they still find poop in some places to this day.
Secret?
I'm not surprised. Like it has to be like damn near impossible to fully clean all that up.
Well, you'd think that they would try better, or just, like, discontinue the ship.
It is
Blow it
carnival
up.
though, so I guess
That's true.
cruise companies in general do a lot of cost cutting. So I'm not surprised, but yeah. So that thankfully it wasn't that bad on our situation. What had happened was an engine had failed, which we didn't know for a while. But that's why we're stuck. We couldn't like move back into port. We couldn't, do anything. During that time, we did lose water pressure and air conditioning. May I remind you, it was 120 degrees in New York City. So the pool isn't working because there's no water
What?
pressure, and the air conditioning is out. So you can't take a cold shower, you can't go in the pool, and you can't even like go inside to cool off at all. So that was not fun. Now eventually they did restore those things after only a couple of hours. So that was fine. Right? I just didn't shower that day. Whatever.
Disgusting.
Wow.
I couldn't shower, we didn't have any water pressure.
I can't believe you were on a poop cruise.
And then
Maybe that's why
eventually,
you're so sick.
after 8 hours of delay, around midnight, we finally left New York. So, I didn't even see us leave. I was asleep. I was exhausted. We left. We did it. Whoa. Come on. So that was that. So we're finally out. Now, talk about the boat that I was on. It was an older boat. Hence probably why the engine failed. But it was also smaller, which I honestly... So I've been on 2 cruises now. The other one I'll talk about in another episode probably in the future. But that boat was a lot larger. Actually over double the size of the one that I was on this last time. And honestly, I gotta say, overall, the smaller boat is the better way to go because...
Which cruise line did you go with?
Both were Norwegian. So... I gotta say the smaller boat...
Hold on. I've got a funny.
I'm eating more popcorn.
Ready for this? Why do they put barcodes on Norwegian ships? Ask me why.
Why?
Because they have to scan the Navy in. Thank you. Okay, you can continue. I just had to say that. Put it into my existence. My, continued existence.
True. There were a lot of elements about the boat that I liked, besides its size. Because it had a more sense of community. You met more people, and you met people, and you got to know them more instead of just seeing them once or twice during the...
Me with the poop cruise has a great sense of community.
This is not the poop cruise. Not poop. But
what a goofy
that was
fella.
nice. We met a lot of nice people. Think because of a smaller ship, which was nice. It had some nice fancy amenities. There weren't a lot of community, just viewing areas. One thing that I really liked about the other boat we were on is it had a really beautiful observation deck that you could go up to. You could lounge there. You could take in the scenery. You could play cards. There was a bar up there. You could eat, which was really.
Did you
really
do
nice.
any drinking? Did you do
I
any
did.
drinking?
I did. I did a little bit of drinking. We were considering getting the drink package, but it was way too expensive, and they require everybody to get a drink package that's in your cabin. So if you have 4 people, all 4 people have to have the drink package, and one person just
because of your
get it.
dingus, you couldn't do that.
We could have.
You couldn't have.
The drinking.
Your brother's not old enough.
The drinking age for beer and wine on the boat was 18.
Oh, wild.
For hard liquor, it was 21.
Because international waters.
Well, that's the whole thing. And this is typical on all cruise ships. They had little stores, and a casino on board, but they were only open when they were at least 12 miles away from a port, because the stores were tax-free, and the casino also tax-free, and gambling they could do gambling differently because of when they were out.
What does that mean? What do you mean they could?
What new gambling strategies were there?
It's the taxes stuff. It's all about the taxes.
Are you just saying that?
And also so they couldn't be tied to regulations from any of the ports because we were going through different countries.
As in when you win a large amount, they can't tax it.
Well, yeah, and also because different places have different laws about gambling or giveaways or anything like that. They don't have to abide by those laws or get consent from those governments or anything. They can just do whatever the hell they want, but they have to be a certain distance away.
Seems a bit busted.
It's a little busted.
Are there laws in international waters? Like, can you murder someone and get away with it? Is that why so many people disappear on cruise ships all the time? Because it's just easier to get away with it?
It's probably easier. I'm not sure how it works, though, to be honest.
Nobody disappeared
Yeah.
from our ship. Some were
Well-
late getting on the ship because they were because their airport flooded from the Texas floods. So about like 80 people couldn't even get to New York, so they had to join the cruise from the first port. That was interesting.
Yeah, we've had a lot of. We'll probably talk about it in the next small talk episode, but there's been a lot of water-based things happening in the past 2 weeks. Like last night. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No,
Okay, I'll bring it up.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, so really the one of the big things the boat was missing was definitely that observation like deck. There were some areas you could go to like listen to music, or they had places where they did like game shows or like crafts or like just like gathering events or stuff like that. But you couldn't really like get a good like view of what was going on around you. It was just like a more confined space, which again just shows the age of the boat, but it would have been nice. One thing though, entertainment. I'll stay on entertainment. A big thing people want me to talk about probably is the food. We'll get to the food. There's a lot to say about the food. I want to talk about the entertainment first, because this is another thing I really, really like. They, every night, with the exception of the last night, they put on a show in a little theater. All of the shows we went and saw were excellent. Excellent shows. There was a singer. There was a Broadway style play. There was a comedy show. There was a magician show.
Jeff the magician?
Not Jeff the
They
magician.
exported him?
Unfortunately, it was not Jeff the magician.
Is that unfortunately? Can you say unfortunately to that?
I can, because I did.
Wow.
Funny, because you guys are both looking in the exact same direction and said that at the exact same time.
What if we're secretly the same person?
We're like cat dog.
Get
Sure.
dog! Get dog!
It's like I think about it all the time. Like not Siamese twins. What's conjoined twins? Twins? Twins.
Terraria?
They have like lives, right? And some of them give birth. How did they do that? How does that work? Do they put like a bag over the other half when they're doing it? Or
I imagine you'd just get used to it if you were that one of those.
oh,
To be honest, I can't imagine the sex part is the most inconvenient part of living
well, obviously it'd be
like that.
the farting and not being able to get away. You'd just be stuck there, ruminating in it. Ah, help me, help me. Ah, cut me off. I don't want to be here anymore. But like they have like shared thoughts and things. Like I don't know if you've ever watched a conjoined twin talk, but they could legitimately say every other word of the sentence and make a coherent sentence, which is fucking insane. We can't even do that.
No, because we're not.
Yeah, I guess that
enjoying
proves it, huh?
I'm just like if one of them got a tumor, the other one would be like, haha, you got cancer. And then it's, no, comrade, we have cancer. You know?
Sure.
Pingle is uninterested in anything we have to say.
He wants to talk about his cruise.
This is the Pingleson episode.
That's right.
It is.
It's okay. The next one is gonna be the Jeffy and Lycus episode.
That's true. Because Tyler has no small talk, because this is his small talk.
I have small talk.
Incorrect. Try again.
What?
Binker.
But
Binker.
they had a, and there was also an acrobat show that they did too. I thought that was the
circus?
funniest. I thought that was the funniest show because, so each
Someone
of these
fell
acts,
and died.
each of these acts did 2 separate shows across the duration of the cruise, with the exception of the Broadway play team. They did 3, because they were actually like Norwegian employees who were like more under contract to stay on the boat longer. But the acrobat show was funny because they would do like part of their routine, and then like every maybe 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes, it only happened maybe 2 or 3 times during the show, because it was only like an hour show. A projector screen would come down, and it would start playing the first show. It played a video explaining kind of what happened, or like what they're portraying in the acrobat like routine, which I thought that was fine.
Is it like interpretive dance? Like that's what they're doing?
I
Like they're telling a
guess.
story through
It wasn't
and
really
swinging
dance
and-
though. It was interpretive, like I guess interpretive acrobatics. I guess.
Interpretive flipping. I flipped 3 times to signify World War II and Adolf Hitler's involvement with the eradication.
So like the story.
When I flipped the 4th time, it represented the end of the war. And then when I flipped the 5th time, that represented Hitler shooting himself in the head. They never found the body. Rumor is that the Soviets have it, but we'll never know.
So the story of the show was, it was like these 2 lovers from Japan, and there was some like mystical shit going on. The girl was possessed. I don't remember. It wasn't the story was not the point. Basically, it's about.
Feels like it was the point.
They made it
sounds
feel
like
like
you didn't pay
They made
attention
it
to the
feel
story.
like it was the point, but I was just cool watching them flip and lift things, and
I was about to say, it sounds like you were just enamored by like the cool flips and stuff that you weren't really paying attention. You were like so scatterbrained. Like you had the brain of a goldfish. You saw them do one flip, and then you were like, "Wow, that was so cool!" And then they did it again. It's like when you have a dog and you leave the house for 2 seconds and you come back in and they're like, "Oh my god, I haven't seen you in 40 years." That's what Tyler was watching these people flip. Every flip, it was like, "I've never seen a person do a flip." And then he just had no idea. They were probably like singing and
they
like
weren't
all
singing.
sorts of stuff.
They didn't
And
say
Tyler just
anything.
had no idea because he was so enamored.
They didn't say anything. That's why they needed the explanation videos, because there was no words or anything.
Survey says.
Incorrect.
That's what that means.
Then the second show, instead of like, they still did their like routine, and then they had the projector comes down, and I'm like, okay, it's gonna be another story. And I was trying to figure out like what the story was gonna be. It's not this one wasn't based off of a story at all. It was just the projector
Just
thing.
the cool flips.
It was just they did their flips, and then the projector video was just a montage of like random different things going on, like just like random. It was like a hype up montage video with like random different statistics that didn't, like, they just ran a bunch of different statistics about what happens in the time it takes a human to blink, and then like running different numbers, and then at the end it said,
You know why they did that, right? Or do you genuinely not understand why they did that?
I know why they did it.
Tell me why they did that.
It was a break.
No. It was a break, he says. They do that. They do that because they're trying to explain to you how hard of a feat their performing is. In the time it takes a human being to blink, they are processing what they are doing in their head so they don't die like Robin's parents.
True.
And you just thought they were throwing random numbers on the screen like it's frickin' the average conversation between Lycus and Ann Pomeroy. I think sine and cosine are way better.
Then what?
I don't know. That's your conversation. I don't talk like that. What do I look like, a goober? I'm no goober, you goober.
They made it seem like they made it seem like an environmental activism thing with like think before you blink, and then they like were showing polar bears and ice and wildfires and everything like that. It was quite bizarre.
Is this where this came in? The think before you blink? Was that the acrobatic show?
Yeah.
Because I remember you telling me about this.
Just like
you made
you
made it sound so much more nutrageous than it actually is.
It was just weird because like, why are you trying to gaslight us into thinking that blinking is bad for the environment?
I don't think that that's the point at all. I really don't.
They made it seem like it was with all of the natural disaster, climate change imagery, and then saying think before you blink.
I don't know. It kind of sounds like the king of skill issues is having another one.
A what?
That's you, buddy. You're the king of skill issues. And you're having another skill issue where you don't understand the point of the blinking. That's what the point of the mask is.
That's what the point of Damascus?
Yep.
Anyways.
Polar bears! I'll blink and kill them all! You're like J. Jonah Jameson sometimes.
True.
Spider-Man is telling me not to blink. He says it's something to do with the environment and how it's killing the polar bears. Well, I say this to you, Spider-Man. You are a menace. You create the criminals you stop. You are a false publicist. You are fake news. Another thing I can't wait to talk about in the next episode.
Anyways, shows though excellent. Overall, they were really, really good. They also ran a bunch of game shows that we went to. These were not as excellent. Some of them were fine. They ran like Deal or No Deal, Wheel of Fortune, and then like Bootleg Jeopardy, and like a few others. It really just depended on who was running it. If somebody with more experience was running it, it was fine. But if it was like somebody's first week on the job, they had no clue what they were doing. It also didn't help that most of the people running these didn't know what these game shows were at all, and therefore didn't know the rules of the game shows. And also, most of these game shows did not require... Most of these game shows, like, they are not meant to be, like, fan interactive, yet you're so close to the audience that the audience is inherently going to yell out answers. So that kind of ruined the game shows a lot because like families would sit right next to the contestant area and just cheat because they would like, I don't know, fucking bribe the host into picking them for the show or something. I don't fucking know. There was this like whole
I can tell.
There was like a whole group of people that like were so ultra competitive that they were known as like the game show people, and they would like camp where the game shows were, and they would like get on every single one. It was so annoying because and it was like they would always sit in like they always sit in the same area of the room. It was like a back corner, and they would always like huddle up and strategize. We're playing fucking Deal or No Deal. How do you strategize this? Like,
there is a strategy, by the way, to Deal or No Deal. There's a strategy to every single. There is a strategy to every single game show. The luck is fake. It's not real luck. It's perceived luck. Like, explain to him the thing where if you're given a choice between switching from your answer to
Oh,
a
like the
different
door
answer.
game?
Yeah. Explain that to Tyler. That'll help.
It's good to change the door that you pick, because it has a higher chance. It's like...
That is exactly right.
Like, it doesn't make sense intuitively, but... And I don't remember the logic exactly, but it is good to switch the door, because it's not like a 50-50 chance. It ends
It's
up
like
being
a-
like a 2/3 chance
Yeah.
if you switch the door.
Yep.
And, like, it doesn't make sense in your brain, just thinking about it, because, like, why shouldn't it be a 50-50? But you should switch.
Yep. And that's kind of how, like, deal or no deal works. Like, you probably should switch.
Interesting.
There is a strategy involved with that.
Well, funny enough, one guy playing Deal or No Deal, he was going for the top prize was only $1,000. It was not $1 million like it is on real Deal or No Deal.
Rigged.
But he had the million. He had the not the million. He had 1,000 in his original case, and he decided to swap. And he got like $30.
That's one free drink.
True.
Kind of proved your theory wrong, I guess.
Unfortunately, that's not how probability works, Pringleson.
Nope, not at all.
I ended up getting on 2 game shows. One of them I got on with my family. It was like a Pictionary type game. We did pretty good in that. And then the other one was the bootleg Jeopardy one, which I knew most of the answers. But the whole objective of the game was not to know the correct answer. It was to just have, by some miracle, be the first one to buzz in. Because the buzzers were so terrible that it was just a random chance. Like, sometimes you could hit the buzzer first by a mile and it wouldn't register the press. And sometimes the last person to buzz in will be registered as the first one. Because they mixed them up.
Is that true, chat?
Yes. Because they told you on the first day, they said, now, these buzzers cost a lot of money, so don't hit them super hard. You don't need to hit them super hard. So what does everybody do? They do that. Every time.
That didn't seem that hard.
Fucking broke 2 of them.
Pringleson, you're like unreasonably mad
I
about
was.
fake Jeopardy.
Because I could have won fake Jeopardy. And I didn't. Because of bias.
The king of skill issues strikes back.
Other than that, it was like music stuff. They had like a DJ or like a couple of different bands. People like played violin or the piano. It's a really good music. So that was really good. The entertainment overall was, again, it was mostly good. Subpar at worst, I would say. So they gave it. There was a lot of stuff for people to do, which was important because of how long the cruise it was. I think we had like 6 days at sea, which is a long time for such a small boat. So you need stuff for people to do, so it's good that everybody had stuff to do. And then also you could just you could go out by the pool, or you could go eat, or you could go play shuffleboard or chess, or you could just sit in your room. And they had the TVs where in your cabin they had a couple of different channels where they were just running different movies. Another great thing, TV and movies, no commercials, baby. ad-free experience.
See, this is where like I start to wonder why people go on cruises, because it sounds unbearably boring.
I don't think it would be for me personally.
Like, I feel like it's no different than staying in a hotel for half of it. And at that point, why not just fly to Iceland and get like more time in Iceland than actually being on the boat?
I don't know, maybe one of those like water park ones that's got like a whole water park on it would be fun, but also still not for that long, you know what I mean?
Right, I feel like you would get tired of it pretty quickly. Like, there's the water park hotel in Frankenmuth or whatever, and I mean, like, it's fine, but it's also...
Great Wolf Lodge.
No, it's some weird, like, ferry place.
Oh.
It's, like, right next to Bronner's. I don't know what it's actually called, though. But, like, literally next to Bronner's. Like, you could walk out the front door and walk to Bronner's.
Yeah, I don't know. My family always used to go to the Great Wolf Lodges, so...
We definitely did get bored of being on the boat after near the end. A, because they stopped giving a lot of new stuff to do. B, we were tired, and we're just worn out. So it's definitely a valid complaint. It wasn't always... Very many times we just went back to our room and took a nap. Because there was nothing better to do. Like, and the movies weren't even that good. A lot of them weren't even that good. A lot of them were in are in marathons. Or I've already reviewed them, so I didn't watch many of them. I watched one, and it was a terrible chick flick called 10 Things I Hate About You, which I'll review at some point. It is a terrible movie. The main character makes me want to shoot myself, but I'll talk about that in the review.
Okay.
And then the TV was fine, but like it's again, we had the same thing on our other cruise. It's just a bunch of the same episodes over and over again, because they can't afford to have actual network television play. So eventually we were just rewatching the same episodes, which isn't fun because the shows themselves weren't even that good in the first place. They were just there as noise for the most part.
Did you at least have, like, the news or anything? Or
There was, you could, there was like actual news channels. There was a sports channel. It was all like European network, so it was all like cricket or rugby or soccer or golf.
Based? The soccer part, not the golf part. Golf is barely a sport.
Not true.
Just saying it.
But then guess what?
Here's what I hate about golf. People want to say, oh, it takes skill. It takes skill and patience. You have to know where the wind is going. You know what else takes skill? Building a house. That's not a sport, is it? Like, you can't just use skill. There's no... It's like... Listen, if Donald Trump can go play golf, then it is not a sport. Because that man is not a sport person. That man cannot do sport. And I don't know what his golf scores are. He had that argument with Joe Biden on live TV. Oh, my golf score is better than yours. Oh, no, it's not. My golf score is better than yours. And at that point, if the presidential candidates of the United States of America are arguing about their masturbate debate, you know, like, I don't like golf. It's not a real sport. It's as real of a sport as bowling is.
Ooh, L fake.
Common take. Yours is the L take. And you don't even play bowling anymore.
Not consistently.
Washed.
Shut up, bitch.
Golf is so dumb. It makes me so mad. It's also boring.
They did have news channels. They had BBC. They had like MSNBC. They had Fox News. What the fuck? They had CNBC.
He almost slipped there. He was this close to saying, thank fuck.
But I didn't want to watch the news because it was the same fucking story every day. Every single one of the news stations, all they were talking about, Trump, 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 Trump. Literally, even CNBC, the stocks channel, just talking about Trump.
Well, he does a lot of stupid stuff. And there's a
we
big
didn't watch
thing
any
going
news.
on. So we'll talk about
Well, son, I have something to tell you. The choices of the president do affect the world.
I wanted to watch NASCAR. So, that was that.
Literally.
Guys, should I pay $60 extra to get my phone on Amazon one day earlier?
No. But yeah, I don't know, Pingle. It's kind of just the way the cookie crumbles.
So, the news wasn't fun to watch. The sports weren't fun to watch. The TV got boring. The movies were bad. So, that was... It, again, just became background noise. Most of the time, we just had it on the navigation channel to see how fucking close we were to the next port. And our cabin wasn't as bad, I thought, as the one on our first cruise. It was a little bit larger, which, thank God. The bathroom was fine. Our toilet broke halfway through the cruise.
And whose fault was that?
It was my mom's fault, not mine.
Oh, way to throw your mom under the bus like that.
I just
National TV.
Get named National TV.
I can't believe you just said that out loud.
I don't think she broke it. It was because the boat is old and crappy, and the plumbing system
Yeah,
is
it's the
probably
poop cruise.
plumbing system is working overtime thanks to the food. Again, we'll get to the food in a little bit. But these toilets, my God, they had the most industrial, like, power flushes I have ever seen on a toilet. I mean, my God. I mean, it was like that. It was gone. Like, it's insane how fast it was.
You weren't sitting on the toilets when they were flushing, right?
No.
Okay, good, because then your insides could get sucked out.
You had to stand up to flush the toilet. Or you had to do, like, a weird twist turnaround thing. Because you had to press a...
Good,
because
your insides will get pulled out
flush
of your
button
ass.
was on the wall.
That's good. I'm glad that they did that. Because there was that one old woman who did it, and they had to reinsert her large intestine because the whole thing got sucked out. So those toilets are very dangerous.
The only real bad part about the cabin... Oh, another thing. When the boat was rocking, because of waves, you could... The wood would creak. It would creak very loudly, and it was annoying and a little creepy in the middle of the night, especially. The boat did a lot
Not to wish death on everybody on this cruise, including you and your family, but it would have been very cool if you guys hit an iceberg.
The only
Yeah,
thing
Pringleson, how are you going to respond to that?
I will come back to that in a minute. But
Okay.
The worst part about it was the sleeping situation. There was only one bed that my parents shared, and then there was a couch. It wasn't a pull-out couch. It was like it's not called a futon.
A futon?
It might have been called. It might have been a futon.
Where the couch becomes a bed?
Yeah, that it was a futon.
Yeah, it's a futon.
And it was a really shitty futon. The part where I slept was the backrest of the couch, when it was a couch. And I swear to God, there was a giant piece of steel with only a thin, like, cushiony layer in front of it. It was so stiff. My back hurt every morning. My shoulders hurt every morning. I could not get comfortable on the motherfucker. And it
So
was
there was
situated...
only one bed? Wait, there was only one bed in there?
Yeah.
Where did your brother sleep?
He slept on the other side of the futon.
Oh.
On the more cushiony part, because that's where you're supposed to put your butt when it's a couch.
So you just got cucked into the bad part of the futon.
Well, and it was a stupid position for it, too, because there was a little wall that juts out that separates the bed from the futon. So where I was, I couldn't get out of bed because I had walls on 3 sides of me and then my brother on the other side. So I had to climb over him just to go take a piss every night. Or I had to jump out the back and risk falling
What?
straight on my parents. It was fucking miserable.
Oh, this is one of those situations like in Amazing World of Gumball, where Gumball and the hot dog guy are in the tent, where you're on top of your brother, climbing over him to go to the bathroom. He just opens his eyes and sees you directly on top of him. Oh, it's so funny. The idea of this is so funny to me.
It was quite
poor
comical. If you're not me.
It is very funny. Goodbye, Legus. It will be missed.
But other than that, cabin was fine. It had a balcony. Balcony was nice. Got to look outside and
Welcome back, Legus.
I was getting another drink.
Okay.
so now let me talk about the thing that I've been holding off talking about, the food.
Iceberg?
We'll talk about icebergs later, because we did see many icebergs. The food.
Finally going to talk about what you thought of F1, the movie.
What?
Next time, maybe.
The food was very polarizing.
Strollin' and Trollin'.
There was included, if you just got like the base cruise package, you got 4 restaurants included that you could eat at. 2 of them were fine dining restaurants.
There were multiple restaurants on the cruise.
Oh, there was at least 10.
Why? For what purpose?
Well, a lot of them were specialty restaurants, which I'll get to in a minute. They had to pay extra for. But the fine dining restaurants, they both serve the same stuff, but it was also just for capacity reasons that they had 2 of them, and they were fine. I think it was fine. I mean, they ranged from having a bunch of mid stuff to some really good stuff. So we ate there a good amount, just because it was they had some nice views of the outside and whatever. So that was good. Then there was another plate. Then there was the buffet. This buffet was awful. I'm just gonna say it right now. The buffet was fucking terrible. I'm mostly gonna be shitting on the breakfast portion of the buffet because
How bad were the eggs? I bet they were the worst part.
the eggs were not the worst part.
Oh.
The eggs were mid, incredibly mid.
Mid at best.
The worst part was probably the potatoes, or
What? How do you screw up potatoes?
the biscuits were awful.
Guys, I'm hearing Michael Jackson in my right ear again.
And they also just didn't have a lot of, like, variety. Like, at least with lunch and dinner, the options that you had changed by day. Some of them at least changed. So, it was something new. But for breakfast, it stayed the exact same every time. Which, like, I get it. It's going to be harder to make variety stuff for breakfast. But also, I mean, it was god-awful. It was god-awful food. And I say it in a pretty harsh light because I think I got food poisoning from the breakfast buffet on our last day there. It was either
What
that
did you eat?
or the fine dining restaurant the night before that I got food poisoning from.
What did you eat at both? I can tell you which one.
I had a dinner the night before. I had like a sausage sampler platter with the spiciest sausage I have ever eaten in my life. It's probably the second spiciest thing I've ever eaten in my life behind the one chip.
Really?
Yes. And I didn't know it was going to be spicy going in because they on the menu they usually did indicate if something was like going to be spicy. And so like, oh, I'd order it cuz it still looked good and it would never be spicy at all. Like it would never actually be spicy. So my spice guard was completely gone. This is the last night of the cruise. And they
Can't
didn't
wait
even
for that.
and they didn't even put an
can't-
indicator that this was going to be spicy.
I can't wait for that Marvel Cinematic Universe TV show, The Spice Guard. I'm excited for the Spice Guard.
True.
I hear Mephisto's going to be in it.
But
True.
so like, and there were 3 different types of sausage. 2 of them were fine. One of them was a bratwurst. One of them was something else. I don't remember. And then the other one was the spicy one. And I took a big bite out of it because it again didn't say it was gonna be spicy.
Kabachi? No, what is it?
I think that's right.
Spicy sausage. Kabachi?
I think that's what it was.
It's something like that. I can't remember which.
And I was immediately sweating and crying. I was in so much pain. It was
From one bite of the spicy sausage?
Yes, it was so spicy. I couldn't believe how spicy it was. I gave a smaller piece of it to my brother, and he tried it, and he also said it was spicy, but not as spicy as I thought it was, because he took a smaller bite. But I ended up finishing it, and I mixed it in with some potatoes and other stuff, and it wasn't as bad. So that was good. And then the next morning, we had the breakfast buffet, and I ate what I usually ate. I'm getting nauseous just thinking about the buffet, because I really didn't like it at all.
What did you eat? What you ate? You usually ate.
I had
it
corned
explains
beef.
nothing
I had
to
corned
anybody.
beef hash. Corned beef hash, ham, and gravy.
If I had to guess, I'd say it came from either the ham or the sausage.
It was probably the sausage. I'm saying it was probably.
Well, it depends on how well cooked the sausage was. I mean, the ham is far more likely.
I don't know.
I know.
We'll get into how that experience went later, about how my body processed the food poisoning. But yeah, the food...
Pringleson and Company Discord server members already know the answer to that question.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They know a lot of answers to these questions because I live reported everything that happened.
Just like in Among Us.
Because while I didn't have any cell service while on the boat, we did get 300 minutes of hi-fi included that I was able to spread out through the days where we didn't have cell service, because in the first day while we were in New York, I had full cell service just fine. And then the first 3 ports were in Canada. We'll get to that later. I had cell service there. But other than that, I had to ration out the Wi-Fi. So you guys got to see everything unfold live. Well, semi-live. Because, again, I can only get on for a little bit at a time. But then so that was the buffet. The lunch buffet was, again, super mid. But it at least had some good stuff. I thought the mac and cheese was good. They had jerk meatballs, which I thought were really good. A few other things that I thought were okay. The stir fry was actually pretty good. But the pizza was so bad. I had it the first day and never again. The chicken nuggets were even worse. The chicken tenders were even worse. The chicken dishes in general, for the most part, were not that good. I got really, and there were so many of them. I got so tired of chicken so fast, just because there was so much of it. And then the dinner options was even worse because only half the buffet was open for dinner, which didn't make any sense to me. And also the layout of the buffet wasn't great. It was a C shape. So you walk in and it's like so, but they positioned it where the so like they had on the seating going all, so it's not a full loop. But the ice cream machine, which everybody wanted, was on one end, and then you had to go, if you had a seat on the other side, you couldn't just do a quick loop around to get to your seat. You had to walk all the way around through the crowd. The buffet was always crowded. Walk all the way through the crowd to get back to your seat. And by the time you got back there, your ice cream was soup, because the ice cream melted so fast.
Yummers.
So that wasn't fun. I understand why it wasn't a full loop, because they needed space for like the kitchen stuff for storage or whatever, employee area. But come on. Like, you couldn't have just added a little small walkway? Seriously? Or just organized it better? Like, don't have the ice cream machine on one all the way on one extreme end. Maybe have it in the middle. So it's the same walking distance either way for people. Just saying. And they had cookies too. I loved the cookies. The cookies were really good. But they were on the direct other side from the ice cream. So if you wanted to like have a cookie with some ice cream on it, you had to walk the whole thing 3 times just to do it. Which didn't make any sense.
Sounds like you shouldn't have. Sounds like you should have picked between cookie and ice cream and just stayed there.
Well, the thing with the cookies was they didn't bring out the cookies until day 4. And the cookies only came out for a very short amount of time in the middle of the afternoon, around like 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Cookie day.
And people, it was like, you know the scenes of people that like go to buffets for like the crab legs or whatnot, and they'll just like take whole...
What buffet have you gone to that
like,
has
you know,
crab legs?
Like Vegas style buffets where they have like the seafood dishes, like the specialty stuff.
No.
And people will take like whole trays of it because it's so like valuable and like so rare. It was like that, but with the cookies.
Rare.
There was one time when they brought out the cookies, I went to go get some, and there was a lady there. She took 2 whole plates full of cookies. She literally emptied 3 trays worth of cookies, all for herself. And then she came back 15 minutes later for more cookies.
I think that there was a blue monster hiding underneath her skin.
True. But anyways, cookies were good. So that was the buffet. Not great. We didn't eat there much, thank God. In fact, after like day 3, I just started skipping breakfast. Because I didn't care for it. I only ate it if I knew we weren't going to be eating lunch. So, there was that. But then the other restaurant was arguably the best one out of... Maybe even not out of all the restaurants at the boat, but out of the 4 that I've talked about so far, was definitely the best. And it was like a little like pub bar area. It reminded me of Applebee's when it was good, like 30 years ago.
Back when you went to Applebee's.
Yeah. Known Applebee enjoyer 30 years ago.
It was called... You ready for this?
Little Space Sun.
Ready for this? It was called O'Sheehan's. Get it?
Like oceans.
Yeah. There were a lot of weird ocean
That's crazy.
puns. with some of the restaurant names. That was my favorite. But anyway, their food variety never changed. But what they did make was really good. They had a really good burger. They had a really good carbonara as well. Really good nachos. Really good beef chili. And probably my all-time favorite food item that we had, that you could get regularly at least, the cheesecake. Raspberry brownie cheesecake. Oh my god. It was incredible. Had a nice thick brownie crust, and then like a raspberry swirl in the cheesecake part. It was excellent. We just go there just to get the cheesecake. Really good. And it was also one of the few places on the boat that was open 24/7. So it was a popular night destination.
Do they have a 24-hour bar?
At there, yes.
All right, I'm sold. I'm going. Wait. Were you allowed to buy alcohol past 2 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, I think so. The bar was open.
Because that's illegal here.
Well, we weren't in Michigan, so
I know.
it's another thing about.
I'm just thinking of all the cool things I can do on international waters.
I mean, I never stayed up till 2 a.m. to investigate, but I never heard anybody say otherwise, so I assume that that's what you could do. But then on top of those restaurants, there was specialty ones. You had to usually prepay for them extra because you had to get a reservation. We ate at most of them. The only one we didn't eat at, well, I didn't eat at I didn't eat at 3 of them. At 2 of them, my parents went to just by themselves. And then one of them, none of us ate at. It was the specialty.
Where were you when they went by themselves?
We went to the buffet, so I could see what they had for dinner, and it wasn't great either time.
Because they were out of cookies again?
Not true. They didn't have any cookies with dinner. Why would you do that? But anyway, the steakhouse. There was a specialty steakhouse, where you could get like that was the only place where you didn't have to pay upcharge for lobster as well. So that one was by far the most popular. We didn't get to eat there. My parents also ate at a French bistro, as well as like a Japanese style restaurant as well. They said that both those were really good. Here's the ones that I got to eat at. The first one of these we did was a Brazilian steakhouse. I was super hyped for this one. And it was really good. All of the cuts of meat were excellent. So good. But my god, is it a lot of food. I tried every cut of meat minus, I think, 2. There was so much steak, though. There was so much steak, and I love steak. Well, I don't love steak. I like steak. Not that much, though.
What?
I love
How am I
steak.
supposed to trust you?
I love steak. Not that much. I like steak. Not that much. Was every restaurant like a buffet?
No. All the specialty ones were sit-down places. Where, well, like a Brazilian steakhouse, I mean, you know the concept of Brazilian steakhouse. They just bring the meat out to you and ask if you want some. They carve some for you. That was awesome. They had this really good chicken, some really good steak. There was lamb. I didn't have any lamb because they brought it out last. And I was so full I couldn't eat any. But it was all really, really good. So I really liked Brazilian Steakhouse. Second one we ate at was there was one. Fuck. Like 4. I can only remember 3. And it'll come back to me later. The other one we did, which I honestly think was probably my favorite meal on the entire cruise, was we went to a hibachi place. Now, the show was awesome that they do hibachi stuff, right? It's a hibachi place. You can do all the cool stuff. But the food, oh my god, you couldn't have cooked it more perfectly. So he made fried rice and absolutely doused it in garlic butter, and it was so good. It was like absolutely perfect. And then he also the steak was cooked absolutely perfectly, and he put some garlic butter in it. Same with the chicken. The soup was amazing. The little salad that they made was great too. And the dessert. Oh my god, the dessert. Oh, it was so good. The desserts were amazing everywhere. Like all the restaurants had great desserts. That was definitely another massive highlight. Lots of great cakes.
You know what else is massive?
Dishes. What?
No. Pringleson, laugh.
Ha.
He just hates us, Lycus. He hates us.
I know. He got us on this podcast just so we could listen to him talk.
Ask questions instead of trying to divert the subject.
Divert subject to low taper fade.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm sorry, Pringleson.
The cruise is the enemy. Don't get mad at me. Maybe if you didn't have that yee ass haircut, you get more bitches on your dick.
What? Anyways, watch place. 10 out of 10. Best restaurant.
Banker.
The last specialty restaurant we went to was an Italian one. And this one was really good. I got the lasagna.
Yeah.
And the lasagna was spectacular. Spectacular. And we were sitting right next to the wine cooler, so we get to look at all the special wines that they had available, even though we didn't buy any. But
Weak.
it was really, really good. We had a really good server as well. Some really cool people. But yeah, really, I would say probably if I had to rank them, it would probably be hibachi, and then probably a tie between the Italian place and the Brazilian steakhouse. There was one more though. I can't remember for the life of me which restaurant it was that we ate at. I'm trying to think. Shit. I don't remember. It'll probably come back to me when I'm talking about... I'll probably think about it when I'm talking about my throwing up later on. But...
Can't wait.
Spoiler.
Anyways, all those specialty restaurants, though, even the ones we didn't go to, the menus looked amazing. I'm sure the food was amazing, too. It was cool. So yeah, the food, like I said, was very polarizing. I'd probably give it a good 8. And heavy emphasis on the specialty stuff with that 8. Because... yeah. So that was the boat. The boat was okay. Like, we got tired of it, though. Like, the pool wasn't that large. The hot tubs were always crowded. There wasn't...
That's another thing I kind of find a little bit backwards about cruises. And, like, on a similar vein of why not just go to a hotel in Iceland. What's the point? Why would you go swimming on a cruise? Like, I know Lycus says, I guess if it was like a water park cruise, you know, but like, that seems awful to me. and like,
Hold up.
it's like, I imagine it being, you know that this is a crazy reference. You know the family in Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Dog Days, or not Dog Days. What's the road trip one? Is it just called Road Trip?
Long haul.
Long Haul. You know the
Yeah.
family that they run into that like tries to kill them?
Mm-hmm.
I imagine everybody on the cruise is like that. And so, yeah, I wouldn't go to the hot tub. I wouldn't want to go swimming in a pool full... It's like when you go to a buffet and they have a chocolate fountain. Never eat from the chocolate fountain because kids will just walk up there and just throw their full hands into it. And you know that chocolate just cycles, right? It doesn't just go down and disappear into nothingness. No, it cycles back to the top and then comes back down again. So it's just disgusting to me. And the amount of piss in that pool and in those hot tubs has to be unbelievably awful.
Well, the hot tubs were heavily filtered, and they also had like restrictions for kids going in the hot tubs because they were actually pretty deep hot tubs. The pool was also
Boiled.
pretty deep. It was weird because they had these like two really extremely shallow areas. They were like maybe a foot deep, and then it dropped off into minimum 5'3", maximum 5'10" area, which I thought was a little bizarre. And the pool was all salt water, filtered in straight from the ocean, which was
now,
not fun.
Again. Yeah, I don't know what you just said, buddy.
It was not fun. I didn't like the salt water.
Product of being salt water.
But the pool, like we swam in the pool like once or twice, I think, like, and then we went in the hot tubs a few times as well. Once it got cold out on like day 5 or day 6, it really wasn't much fun to be outside. It was always either we were off the boat doing other things, or it was cold, windy, raining, or we were eating. Like, it wasn't. And they closed the pool and the hot tubs fairly early in the night, so you couldn't even really go at night either, which I guess wasn't really something that I guess. And then they ended up closing the pool after it got cold. They closed the pool to repaint it and put a Norwegian
To
logo.
repaint the pool?
They repainted it and put a Norwegian logo on the bottom of the pool, and then they kept it closed till like the last 2 days.
Wild. What a
Like-
great time to paint your pool.
They did a lot of construction work while we were on the cruise. Like they repainted all the handrails, they repainted the decks, they repainted some walls, they redid some carpet, they changed out furniture. I'm like, what the fuck? Isn't there a period of time that you can do this after we leave, before the new people come on? Or maybe when the ship is in limbo during its off season, you can do that?
Get named Limbo.
I don't know what it's called.
Like, what's the dimension in Superman? That's like the prison dimension. What's that called? The Phantom Zone.
Yeah.
Me when I sent the cruise ship to the Phantom Zone.
Well, that was that. What else do I have to say? Let's see. Oh yeah, we didn't even. I only had a total of 2 pops on the entire trip. One of them was on the boat. It was
I don't know what you said, buddy.
I had a pop on the boat on the second day. It was a Sprite. I drank it, and it was straight from the can, and it tasted funny. I'm like, this doesn't taste like Sprite, or it tastes like old Sprite. I looked at the expiration date on the can, and it would expire in 2023.
Still good.
and it was made in Spain, so
It's still good.
maybe it was just a different formula. I don't know. But yeah, didn't have any pop after that on the cruise because I was a little worried how much older the other different pops were. The other pop I had, I'll get to later. It was not on the boat. It was during one of our stops.
Hey, can you believe, Lycus, that we have to talk about the entire rest of the trip that wasn't on the boat, too?
I told you I have a lot
We're in
to
it
say.
We're in it for the long run, Lycus, and we can't even ask questions or add anything to the conversation because he'll get mad.
I know, it's crazy. We're literally just here to listen.
One more thing about the boat, and then I'll get to the ports. There's like a thing apparently with cruise ships. It started with Royal Carnival or Royal Caribbean or whatever the fuck it's called, and it's like slowly spreading.
Where
out
the poop bags? The poop
not
bags?
not the poop bags. They people hide little rubber ducks around the ship, and then like you gotta find them, and then you can either keep them or re-hide them. I found a lot of ducks. I didn't even know it was a thing though until like the third day. We were in the hot tub and this dad comes over to his daughter and she's like, "Hey, look what I found!" And he gets like 3 ducks and just puts them in the hot tub. I'm like, what the fuck? Where'd you find those at? And it was like, oh, apparently it's a game that you do. Like, so then like a few days later in the elevator, I found a duck just sitting on a sign. And then like the last night before the cruise, I found 2 more ducks. 2 more ducks.
Did you do what I told you to do with them? Where I told you to hide them? Did you do that?
I re-hid them, yes.
Did you
Not
hide them
in-
where I told you to hide them?
No, not in my ass.
Cringe.
I didn't feel like taking ducks home, so. And one of them had a whole Facebook page dedicated to it.
A
Apparently.
Facebook page for the duck?
You didn't even keep that, Doug?
I thought about it. Kidnapping
You
it.
should have kept the Facebook duck.
But yeah, that was cool.
That was cool.
All right. That's
He
all
doesn't
about the
even
boat.
need us. He adds his own thoughts and things to his own conversation.
So how about the ports themselves?
How about the ports? He's asking the questions too.
So our first 3 stops were in Canada. The first one was Halifax, Nova Scotia. Really cool city. I gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised. A lot of cool architecture. Very, very. It was like a mini Boston, and I really enjoyed Boston when we visited there a couple of years ago, which will be probably another episode in the future, talking about that too. But it was like a smaller version of that, and it was really, really cool architecture, cool looking places a lot of cool food places, a lot of nice places to walk around, just good vibes overall. I was very, very, very impressed. While we were there, we were walking back to the ship. Well, we were actually walking to a bar, and this is where the alcohol comes in. But first, first we encounter this guy. He's clearly on something. I don't know if he was drunk or he was on drugs. I couldn't quite tell. He was holding a lot of meat.
Monkey D. Luffy?
It was not Monkey D. Luffy. At least I don't think. But he's like running around.
Was it Iñaki Goldoy?
No.
That's the live action Monkey D. Luffy.
Not true.
True. In fact, I am speaking the truth.
He was like running
I
around.
speak from my heart. You speak from your ass.
He was like running around bothering people. He kept talking to people.
Dude,
that
it sounds like Monkey D. Luffy.
He kept talking to people that didn't know English. So like these people, like he would be like, "Hey man, how's it going?" And this guy who's and this Chinese traveler is just looking at him like, because he doesn't know what he's saying. And like we're just trying to walk back to the boat because this guy's obviously on something, and we just don't want to deal with it because we're, in whatever. And then he starts interacting with us, and he like gets in. He starts bothering me and my brother, and eventually we got him. Eventually we got him away. But he was a bizarre individual, and he kind of killed the vibes of the whole city a little bit. Not completely. I still really like the city, but I less want to go back because I know he's still there, and I don't want to run into him again. So. There's that. But Halifax, cool city. I went to a bar. I had a vodka seltzer. And it was a lot stronger than I thought, because I actually got semi-drunk from just the one, which was quite surprising. But it was good. Halifax was pretty cool. Our next 2 stops were actually firsts for the ship. And every time the ship reaches a new port, they get like a special like plaque or like recognition that they can then put. Then they have like a wall on one of the floors where you can see every place that the ship has gone. And so the next 2, where there was a Sydney and Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, were new places for this ship. So. Then they had plaques recognizing them making their inaugural stop there. So it was pretty cool that we were a part of a little bit of history with those places. That's where the fun with these places ended, because they were boring as hell stops to go to. I feel like Prince Edward Island, though, we didn't get enough time to explore it. Sydney was boring as hell. There's nothing there. I won't ever go back. Prince Edward Island, though, I'd probably go back, just because I feel like there's more to see. We didn't get to go very far. There wasn't a lot of like ways to get farther into town to explore more of the area. It was nice what we saw. It just wasn't great. So that was Canada, and then we move on to our second place. This is where the real action kicks in with this trip. We got to go to Greenland.
You mean in the 2 hours that we've been doing this podcast so far, there's been no real action?
Real action with the ports. It's also been only an hour and a half.
It feels so much longer.
But then we get to Greenland. Yes, guys. Pringleson went to Greenland.
Wow.
Cool, man.
A place that most people don't even know exists. Well, a lot of people do know it exists. A lot of people haven't been there because it's...
2 minutes ago when I said I speak from the heart, you speak from your ass. This is what I'm talking about.
Greenland is a fascinating place. First off, the weather felt perfect for college football. Just want to put that out there real quick. Second, the landscape is just so gorgeous. The mountains, the icebergs, the tiny little villages with the water, they're just so gorgeous, so vast, and are just so beautiful. We get it really just is completely breathtaking that people live in a place like Greenland, because it's so remote and so far from anything, really. Like, it's so far from Canada. Well, not really super far from Canada. It's super far from any like big city. And so they really have to live off the land. And it was pretty cool to see how they do that, or at least get a little bit of a glimpse into how they do that when we were exploring these places. So I really was really taken back by the view and the experiences of just fucking being in Greenland. It was just excellent. So we had an excursion the first stop in Greenland. We were going to do whale watching. And this was not fun because there were supposed to be 4 boats of people leaving to do whale watching. The first 2 go, and we're waiting for the other 2 boats. They don't show up. We're like, what the hell is going on? So after a bunch of pressing the tour lady, pressing other people to find out what the hell happened, apparently the other 2 captains, quote unquote, called in sick at the last second. Bullshit. A. B. The fuck? So we were pissed off because it took forever. It took forever to even get out there and do our excursion because they had to call somebody else in. They took forever to get there. So we didn't even have time to go and explore the city that we were in. It was the capital of Greenland. And it looked really cool from the outside, and I was really, really excited to go walk around the city and kind of see what there was to see. And we didn't even get to do that. So we didn't have time. We had to be back on the ship right after our excursion finished. So at least the whale watching was cool. We did see some whales, saw some seals, we saw some cool icebergs. We saw puffin as well. That was pretty cool. And we got some nice pictures of the Greenland scenery. And then we ended up getting a 10% refund per person on the excursion, plus free food that they took straight
Cookies?
It was free cookies straight from the buffet. Thank you, Norwegian, for showing how much of a cheapskate you are. So that was that. The other city we went into, we actually did get to explore. It wasn't even really a city. Neither of them were really cities. They were like... The one was like a town, and the other one was like a village. Pretty much. And I learned another fascinating fact. Greenland has a huge gnat problem. Or I guess maybe it's not a problem. But they have a huge gnat population. Which is weird because Greenland is a very cold country. You wouldn't expect it to have
like a gnat, like a bug.
Yes.
I thought you were saying nap. I was like, what?
Yeah, they take a lot of naps there. And it's a big problem. So when we were walking around in this village, we were just getting swarmed by gnats, and it was pretty annoying. They were even like selling nets that you could put over your head to keep them out, but we didn't buy that.
The crew's keeping the net business alive.
Good for you. The village was cool, though, I guess, for what it was. I mean, there wasn't much there. And then we went down this fjord the third day that we were in Greenland. And that was probably the best stop on the entire trip. Beautiful views, beautiful scenery. We got to see some really awesome glaciers. Got to see some more whales. We got to see a Danish Navy ship. Because Greenland's government... Greenland doesn't actually have a government. So its government is technically, like, helped and pretty much controlled by the Danish.
Helped.
Which was a cool fact that we learned.
Cool fact, blood.
But Greenland overall was awesome. Really, really loved Greenland. If you ever get the chance to visit Greenland, even for a little bit, do it. I don't think you would regret it. Because it's really beautiful. So. But then we came to the main attraction of our stops. Iceland. Iceland is also a very beautiful country. And honestly, the landscape, while very similar to Greenland, was for me giving off more Jurassic Park vibes. The mountainscape looked a lot similar to how it does in the movies when they're on the island. They're not the same, but they look the same. And also just kind of like, it was a lot more civilized. So it kind of had that feel of like, oh, you know, we're in Jurassic Park. And it didn't help that there was a kid on our dinner. One of the last nights that we were there made an exact Dennis Nedry squeal, which was really uncanny. That didn't help the vibes at all either. But other than that, beautiful, beautiful place. They played a lot of American music. I mean, literally, we got off for our first stop in Iceland, and the first thing we heard was Eminem, which I thought was kind of weird.
You know that there's no such thing as American music, right? It's just music.
Shut up. Shut up.
It's called music.
Shut up.
People all around the world listen to music from all around the world.
Shut up.
True.
It's not surprising at all that they be listening to one of the most popular rappers of all time across the seas somewhere else.
Pringleson died because you said that.
Well, I only get like 3 scheduled lines in this whole episode, so that was my last one.
I do also want to comment on how the bathroom situation works in Iceland. I don't want to say they're not gender neutral bathrooms. There's 3 separate bathrooms. It's handicap, women, and miscellaneous.
So of course you went in the women's.
Everybody goes in the women's room. They really just go in what's ever open. They don't really pay attention to the signs at all. But it's really funny. It was like,
That's what I do.
It was really, really funny.
Like it just walks into whatever bathroom's open.
Everyone has less people. If I were sexist, I'd say that still means I always go in the men's bathroom.
Does that make you sexist? Because I think arguably there are less men in the men's bathroom. I don't know if you've ever been to a nightclub before, but man, those lines are long.
Oh, I do think that's one of those stereotypes that is based on reality.
True. We also went into...
It's almost like there are more women on the planet.
Stuffed.
It's almost like there are more women on the planet than there are men.
That is true. Pringleson, what do you think? How many women are there?
He doesn't get to talk.
Oh, you're right. Is it our turn?
It's our turn.
What did you think of Superman, Noah?
I loved Superman.
I loved Superman too.
And I still think Lex Luthor is a twink.
He'll have time to get jacked later.
I hope so. Jacked while in prison. Before he runs for president of the United States.
That's right. Hopefully he gets the power armor eventually too.
And now it's realistic that a criminal can run for the president of the United States. Hot take. Hot take.
Even though Lex Luthor is probably less evil than Donald Trump.
I think Lex Luthor has more power.
That is true. Although I was watching a
what
video
are his
about
golf
Superman
scores,
comics, and apparently, He doesn't have time for golf, okay? He's inventing people. He's making Mr. Handsome in the lab.
What were you reading?
What?
You said you were reading.
Oh, I was watching a video about Superman comics, and apparently there was like a long period of time where Lex Luthor was just like on the Justice League, like as a good guy.
I mean, there's a period of time. There's a period of time where Norman Osborn is freaking the leader of the Avengers. So
That's true, but he was still losing his mind about Spider-Man every issue, so. And he invaded Asgard or something, so he wasn't really that good.
He wanted to like colonize them or something like that. I can't remember.
Asgard was in Oklahoma at the time, I think. Which that's weird. I don't even know why that happened. I haven't read
That is
it.
a weird,
I don't read very many
place.
comics, but I know what's going on.
Okay, Pingle.
That was like a little refresher for us, so you can go again.
Okay.
I'm confused.
We also went
Back
into
to
some.
reviewing your movie.
We also went in some Icelandic grocery stores, which was awesome. They have mostly a lot of the similar stuff than you would see in the U.S. It was just made differently. Like, there were a lot of different flavors of Doritos. There were...
Wonderful.
Big rain. Big rain coming. I had to zoom out a lot so that people. I wasn't just like putting my location on the fucking thing. Now they just know I live in the Lansing area, which is already common knowledge.
True. But, so I want to read off some of the cool Doritos flavors that they had. Let's see. Oh, they had paprika. They had some sort of like pepper one as well. And then this is their Cool Ranch. It's Cool American.
That's a pretty good bit.
They also have a Lewis Hamilton themed monster drink, which is wild.
He's showing us the cool American flavor.
And then they still have Pepsi Max in Iceland as well.
He didn't buy any of these things.
They don't actually have Pepsi Max still. That's what they just call Pepsi Zero, is Pepsi Max. But I thought that was cool.
All Pepsi in Iceland.
But I
Pepsi
did,
Zero.
however, buy one thing. How about this?
You gonna review it?
It tastes just exactly like regular Mountain Dew here in the U.S. It doesn't have any real difference at all. Except
So like
maybe
trash?
No. They also have special like frozen TGI Fridays food in their freezers, which I thought was wild. Like, the capital city of Iceland, Reykjavik, has a TGI Fridays. But here, we don't have any TGI Fridays around us anymore. Who the fuck is going to Reykjavik, Iceland, and like, yeah, let's go to TGI Fridays?
Probably the people that live there.
Yeah, probably like the
No, they're not.
residents.
There's plenty of good local places that they eat at instead. I know that because they all had lines outside.
There's plenty of good local places here too, idiot.
I'm not saying there should be a TGI Fridays here. I'm saying there shouldn't be a TGI Fridays there.
You have such a weird and backward like opinion on these people.
Oh shit. Anyway, so that was cool. The grocery store was awesome. It's a really nice little town. Was our first stop. their tunnel system is also a little weird, and this is something that wouldn't work in the continental United States. It's a one-way tunnel that's in reality actually two-way. So how that works is like you go down, like drivers going one way have like a runoff area to the right, and if there's a car coming on the other side, you're supposed to pull over into that runoff area and let them go through and then keep going. The only reason I think this works in Iceland is because of their relatively low population, and also the fact that it's a much more peaceful and calm country compared to the United States. They definitely have a much more relaxing vibe and much more like everything's very they're one of the happiest countries in the world. They're also one of the most expensive
Because they have free healthcare and high taxes.
and also gas costs like $8 a gallon.
That's also why.
So everybody just buys EVs. Even the farmers have Teslas, which is kind of crazy, but
No, we cannot hear you.
I was munching and I was like, is it picking this up? I'll just turn on my mic, and then I forgot. I was saying it makes sense not to buy gas vehicles in a country that has the most geothermal plants on the planet.
no, it doesn't. It makes total sense.
Yeah.
Like, obviously you would want an electric vehicle.
Here's one thing I don't like, though, about Iceland, and this is probably something that's used.
Is it their cocaine surge?
No. It's
Pringleson likes that part.
paid public bathrooms. It's, I think, a European thing in general.
I think that is a European thing, yeah.
But what the fuck? You could say, oh, it's like...
Can you read that?
Yeah. That's from a year ago.
It's from last year by a little bit. Iceland is reputed to be happy and safe, so why is violent crime on the rise?
There's probably a reason why they have the paid toilets. But I don't like the idea.
Because they're nicer.
They were not nicer.
They are nicer.
I used them. They are not nicer.
Did you use the not paid ones?
I did. They were the same.
Did they have toilet seats?
Yes, they were the same.
I mean, to be fair, in a lot of cities, like here, you have to buy something from a place to go to their bathrooms.
Yeah.
Lycus has never been to a gas station.
Okay, you know what I mean, though.
I'm pretty sure I could
In a real city, not the suburbs of Lansing, Michigan.
I could go to a Walmart in any place of the country and use their bathrooms without buying anything.
Boom. Owned.
Did you go to a department store in Iceland?
I would have if they had any, but I didn't see any.
That would be so cool.
Because
I feel like
not
I know
a lot of
Ikea's-
American companies.
Shut up! I'm talking. I know IKEA is Swedish, but I feel like Iceland would have a lot of those.
They probably did. I didn't see any though. Because
Let me look
a
it up.
lot of American companies are like, there's not a lot of American companies out in Iceland. There's a few. Most of them are fast food places. Like KFC is the leading fast food chain in Iceland.
That's
Subway.
because like all fast food companies are American companies.
Hold on. KFC is actually one of the leading fast food places everywhere.
There's also
KFC is insane.
there's also Subway.
Yep.
And there's one more.
Subway,
that's-
McDonald's, and KFC are like
There's-
the big three, I think.
There's no McDonald's in Iceland. In fact, there's KFC.
There is an IKEA in Iceland.
Subway, and there's one more too. I can't remember what it was. Maybe Burger King, but I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe it was just KFC and Subway.
You're right. There are no McDonald's in Iceland. That's interesting.
Well, we had to look it up because we didn't see any, and realized, oh shit. All right.
American
I think I'm moving to
tourists
Iceland.
trying to find the McDonald's in the location they go to.
Listen, when you see a TGI Fridays, you have to expect to see a McDonald's. Okay.
This guy. He's
There was
acting
also-
like he saw freaking Texas Roadhouse or something.
That would have been so based. There was a Texas Roadhouse.
I don't think Texas Roadhouse is not that crazy good. Like, it's fine for like a chain.
It's good. I mean,
But
but it's not. And also, like, I don't think TGI Fridays is really that crazy to be in Iceland.
They also had
It's
a hard.
just as crazy as like Subway.
They also had a Hard Rock Cafe, which I should have remembered from when we visited the Hard Rock Cafes on our last big vacation. 'cause
And you
they
should have gotten me a
list-
pin.
I would have, but they weren't open when we passed it, and then my body decided to start failing on me, so I couldn't go back. We'll get to that in a minute.
Because he didn't have easy access to Coca-Cola, apparently.
That's true. There's also 3 Sbarros, which
Why are you noting the fast food places in Iceland?
I had to take note. I had to take note.
American tourist goes to foreign country and only searches for fast food restaurant.
There's like a guy walking on stilts 2 feet to the left, but on the right is a Sbarros. So he writes down Sbarros and nothing about the guy on the stilts. It's so funny.
But yeah, so that was pretty fascinating. I'm getting ahead of myself though. Or maybe not.
We'll never know, apparently.
The stops we did before Reykjavik were pretty similar in like landscape. Iceland's a very heavy farming country. They do a lot of sheep farming there, so we saw a lot of sheep. And we actually even got to go pet some on one of our excursions.
Well, they are governed by the Dutch, you said?
No, that's Greenland. Iceland has its own government.
Oh, I was about to make a joke about how much the Welsh love sheep.
They also do fish farming, which is incredibly unbased, but they're also very heavily fishing reliable, so what are you going to do? But
What he meant to say is they are very reliant on fishing, not fishing reliable. It's a different statement entirely.
Yes. But it was cool.
Talk from your heart, Pringleson. Talk from your heart,
Lots of cool
not your brain.
cityscapes, landscapes. It was very fascinating as well just to learn about how the country operates. I was surprised to know they don't have a railroad system. They're very, very car dependent. I know that they're not the most developed country in the world, but I would have thought they would have had something. But they don't. So it's kind of cool to learn about that and how things work in their economy, you know, with them being so heavily dependent on fishing and how their exports are very limited as a result, and how that works. And how they explained a lot how the tourism industry has changed things, which was also very fascinating to learn. So I really, really liked that too. And then, finally, we got to Reykjavik, Iceland. The only real city that we saw after Halifax. And it is a beautiful city. It's a huge city, but a beautiful one. Some really cool waterfront buildings. They had a really cool concert hall that we went in, walked around for a bit. Some really, really modern looking designs. Very hilly city, but very walkable.
What the hilly?
You gotta have some good legs, but you can walk it pretty easily. At least we were able to. Like, we saw all this stuff. I would like to point out
three Sbarros. We saw all the stuff.
I also saw this. I also saw this cool Oreo van.
This guy. We saw all the stuff. Doesn't elaborate at all. Oreo van. Oh, it's so funny. It's weird because when we did the Tigers vlog, he showed off the actual stuff, and now like if we went back to Tiger Stadium, he'd be like, "Oh my God, Little Caesars based."
I saw the 2 Dippin' Dots cards.
He just doesn't. We saw all the stuff.
I like this bar name as well. It's called Bastard.
That's awesome, man.
Where is it? Where's the thing? Oh, yeah. I really wish we had been able to go to this. And this is probably one of the big reasons why I want to go back to Reykjavik, Iceland. It's for this.
Yeah, you idiot. Why didn't you go to the Penis Museum?
Well, here's why.
3 Sbarros didn't go to the Penis Museum.
I didn't eat at Sbarros, okay? I didn't eat anything.
Counted that down.
I didn't eat
spent
anything,
so much
and here's
time-
why. Again, this is when the food poisoning took effect. We got off the boat about a little after 8, and then we got a taxi ride over to our hotel where we were able to store our luggage before we checked in. Hotel was pretty nice, quaint little area.
Quaint.
I mean, it wasn't that big, but it was nice. Had a nice room, nice staff, whatever. But this is when the pain starts to roll in.
What does he say in the
Little known
thing?
fact
what
about
does he
me.
say in the thing? This is where the what does he say in the? Let me tell you an old story about the most massive dump I've ever taken. Late September, Saturday back in 2019. What does he say? This is where the pain begins, or something like this.
I don't remember.
Let me pull it up. I'm Jamie.
Little known fact about me. My body has a really hard time shitting in toilets that aren't in my house. I want to report that is no longer a thing.
This is
That
going to be
is
a
a
rough
fun
30
time.
minute of podcast, isn't it?
That is no longer
30
a
minutes?
thing.
We have to go 30 minutes left for shit
Well,
talk?
Listen, I'm just going by precedent now. He's going to talk about this for a while.
How many Sbarros were in the restaurant in the toilet?
I do not have an issue of shitting anywhere anymore. I would report that. I also was incredibly nauseous, and so I didn't eat anything. And then we got to our hotel, and I let it all out. Out the front, not the back.
Massive dump I've ever taken. It was a late September Saturday back in 2019. I had league in the morning, then went out to fundraise with some of my high school teammates for the upcoming season. We got done, we had Domino's for lunch. This is where the urge begins.
This is where the urge begins. That's what he says. This is where the urge begins.
The pain and nausea that I was in is something I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I couldn't.
Can you, real quickly, can you name who your worst enemy is?
Ken Pop.
Shout out Ken Pomeroy.
I would not wish this on Ken Pom. I couldn't barely stand up straight. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't even keep down water. I was so nauseous. I just had to it was miserable. Like, it was actually miserable because my body had nothing left in it, and I was still throwing up, and I didn't know how. It was so fucking painful. Like that night when we went to a hot springs where you're able to, like, it's like a natural geothermal hot spring, and you're able
I
to.
almost wonder if it wasn't food poisoning, if it was actually mal de débarquement syndrome,
What the fuck is that?
which is sometimes you can get sick after being on a cruise for a long time, and then you get off, and you're no longer on a cruise for an extended period of time.
I don't know if that's the case though, because we had definitely been off the boat for longer periods of time during our excursions. Because it only took a couple of hours.
Was it a particularly rocky night before?
Kinda, I guess. But we had.
Was this the night where? Because there was a night where you complained a lot about the creaking.
That
the
was
Minecraft
early, that was
mob from the most recent not most recent update. The Minecraft mob, the creaking.
that was a lot earlier in the cruise. There was a lot of nights where the boat was rocking pretty severely. And we had one near the end of the cruise, but it wasn't the worst one. The worst one was probably when the boat was doing this at 3 o'clock in the morning.
When was that?
It's like night 7, maybe? I don't remember. But I was so
I do
nauseous.
wonder.
But I decided to try and go to the hot springs anyways because I wanted to experience them, because this was one of the bigger things that we wanted to do in Iceland. But I got there and I was so in so much pain that I couldn't just do it. So I ended up sitting in the lobby area and just played on my phone for 2 hours until the bus left. And then the bus ride back was even worse than the bus ride there. I ended up throwing up on the bus, and I was in so much pain. So much pain. And then, eventually, some of it did go away when I tried to sleep for a little bit. And I ended up shitting the bed in the middle of the night, so that was fun too.
3 Sbarros.
And then, in the morning, I was finally feeling a little bit better after throwing up twice again. And so I decided to take a shower. Now, I was glad we didn't stay more days in Iceland. Not because I was sick, but take away the fact I was sick. I was glad we didn't spend more days in Iceland because their showers aren't that great. Because like I said, geothermal power, their water is heated by sulfur. So when you take a hot shower, it just smells like straight ass. Because
Smells like egg.
It does. We had gone to a geothermal plant where there's sulfur, geysers and whatnot, earlier in the week, and it was kind of like Yellowstone without the buffalo. So I knew what to expect, but taking a shower in it was not fun. So there was that. And then eventually we had to leave, and I was feeling better after that. I was finally able to eat something. Then we finally left, took a taxi to the airport. And then one last rant. The Iceland airport. The Reykjavik airport. What a terrible fucking layout this airport is. So all of the terminal areas, at least we thought they were the terminal areas, are all crammed together in this maybe 50-foot hallway. And so when they call all flights in that area to board at the exact same time, it becomes so... It had to have been a fire hazard. Had to have been a fire hazard. You couldn't even know where your line began because everything was just mixing together spilling out of the queues into the middle of the hallway, and you can mixing together. So that was pretty shitty. And then we had to take a shuttle from that area over to the actual terminal. It's like, what the fuck? Who thought that was a good idea? To have to load up 3 fucking buses full of people to then load a plane. Just have the terminal thing to load the fucking plane. Oh, but you can't do that because you call 8 flights in a 100 square foot area.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Me as well.
And then the flight home was terrible because I was super nauseous and we had a lot of turbulence and that wasn't fun. I tried watching a movie. I did end up watching one movie. I was hoping to watch more, but I only watched one. I tried to sleep. Didn't do anything. And then eventually we landed. And I swear to God, the minute I could see the Detroit skyline again, my stomach pain finally started to go away. And we landed home. Yay! And then we went to McDonald's and I got a Coke, and that immediately cured my stomach pain. Which was
McDonald's and Coke. The
was-
thing he was missing the most from Iceland. So was there like no Coke in Iceland?
There was. I didn't get any. It was so expensive. The night before I got a 0 sugar Sprite, which didn't really do much.
Based.
True.
But so I'm still in recovery mode from whatever the fuck happened to me in Iceland, or on the boat, really, on the boat. I've lost a good amount of my appetite. I only just started craving food again. I have to. Now, food still tastes good. I just don't have much of an appetite for it. That's why I've got this popcorn.
What do you mean when you say creating food?
Craving food.
Craving food. I thought you said creating.
Today-
I've now recently started creating food again.
Today, I had a craving. Well, I still have a craving because I didn't eat it. For Little Caesars. I don't even like Taco Bell doesn't even sound that good to me right now. Little Caesars does, but Taco Bell doesn't.
Product of eating Taco Bell like 3 times a week for the past month.
True. But yeah, if you're ever in extreme stomach pain, apparently just drink. If you're ever like super nauseous or in extreme stomach pain, just like drink a cola or pop in general. Apparently, it does really good wonders for you, is what I learned. So.
I would be cautious taking that advice to any of the real people that are listening to this very real podcast.
So.
I'm the viewing audience for this podcast, so
Me too.
That's it.
I got it.
That's the trip.
Well, there you go.
It was awesome. It was an awesome trip. I'll remember it more fondly later down the line. But it's still a really awesome trip. Greenland is a beautiful country. Iceland, even more beautiful. Well, not really. They're about
Greenland is part of Denmark.
equally as beautiful countries. Will I ever go back to Greenland? Probably not. Will I go back to Reykjavik, Iceland? Probably. Will I go back to any other parts in Iceland? Probably not. Will I go back to any of the Canada stops? Probably not. Except maybe Halifax. But probably not. But it was really fun. Really fun. Met some cool people. Did some cool things. Got some cool sickness. And...
Found 3 Sbarros.
True.
Oh,
So
I
that
can
was
always
it.
count on Lycus.
That's all from the trip. So now I'm back. And I'm still catching up on the multitude of things that I still have to do. I literally
You
watched...
got like 8 Meat Canyon videos to watch.
I know, I watched one of the Papa Beat videos, like the first one that I missed. And then he uploaded a new one, so now I'm back to the same amount.
Yeah, the Home Depot video just went up.
I'm sure it's a funny video. The breakfast one was really funny. The breakfast restaurant ranking. I'm glad he enjoys Waffle
What he
House
said
as
to
much
me
as I
about
do.
Cracker Barrel.
The Cracker Barrel slander was not justified in my opinion.
What's your opinion on Sbarros? Just out of curiosity.
3.
Out of 5?
3 out of 3.
3 out of 10.
It's not that bad.
I don't think it's that bad either. It's like the perfect mall pizza. You get that greasy slice.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Actually, I've actually never had Sbarros, so.
Or you can get like one of their strongholdies or something. That's good too.
He's never had Sbarros, but felt the need to mark down that there were 3.
I know that they're an American chain. I wanted to mark down.
Tyler, every fast food chain is an American chain.
Not Quiznos.
Not Quiznos.
Can you really call them American chains? Like, McDonald's is in almost every country on the planet. Can you really call it an American chain?
I'm only saying it because it started in America.
But that's kind of my point, though. I don't think just because there are McDonald's in America doesn't mean that it's weird that there are McDonald's in Japan. You know what I mean?
I know, I don't think it's weird.
And Tyler's just like, TGI Fridays?
I think it's if you go to Tokyo, Japan, and the first thing you see is fucking TGI Fridays, don't you think that's a little weird?
Is it
You didn't go to Tokyo.
Is
I
it
know.
more or less weird that the first thing you see is KFC?
It's about just the same as weird.
Why?
I don't know. It just is.
I mean, it's like you have this like weird. It's that same like I imagine if you ever took a trip to Africa, you would expect them to all be really like skinny, hungry, like savage people. That's what I imagine you see Africa as. You know what I mean?
It's not what
Like, so the moment you go there
crazy.
and you see like a KFC, you're like, they have KFC in Africa? I thought these people were hungry. Why are they so hungry? There's a KFC right there. Like, I feel like that's you.
No, that was crazy.
Like, I don't think it's weird at all that there are fast food chains in other countries.
I just like taking note of it. Anyways, that's it. That's all I'm talking about this trip. Unless my sickness doesn't get better and I end up having to go get.
You didn't talk
looked
about
at-
your brother.
because I'm not going to talk about his shenanigans.
Why? Why? It's so interesting. I want to know.
Wait, you gotta talk about what Purdue made you do.
What did Purdue make you do?
Pineapple.
Oh, the swingers thing?
I didn't
Yeah.
put a pineapple on the door.
Wow.
But I don't feel like it's out of pocket to talk about your brother. This is the other thing. Like, the actual interesting thing that happened was, like, Meat Canyon. If he did on this cruise, he would talk about the fact that his brother disappeared for several periods of time to go see a girl he doesn't know on this cruise. But Pringleson is like, oh my god, Sbarros. Like, it's like,
Oh my god, Sbarros!
it's like, at least to talk about something interesting. Bruv, please.
He met a girl. My brother met a girl.
Are we
Least
okay?
surprising
So here,
thing.
I'll tell the story then. Tyler's brother went on this cruise with his family, and Tyler's texting us saying that he found a girl that he didn't know that he was talking to and spending like time with. And I was saying that this screams like human trafficking stuff because they're trying to kidnap his brother, right? And Pringle said that he kept doing it. Let me see if I can find the conversation. Melvin, brother, the joke. Oh, there it is. 11 days ago. Tyler said, my brother met a girl last night and was out until 2 a.m. with her. That's weird. That's weird. He just met her. She has connection to the high-level officials, apparently, lol. That's even weirder. But Tyler's like, my brother met a girl. Sbarros! And her voice sounds like she smokes 2 packs of helium per day. I said, this sounds suspicious. I feel like this kind of thing leads to human trafficking or murder. And then he said, I don't know. I knew he wouldn't stay away from flirting for long.
I mean,
I said, why is your brother so desperate? And he said, because he seeks validation from girls. And then he said, Lamau.
Oh, Pringleson.
Washy, washy, happy, happy.
That's what they say when they have bottles of hand sanitizer at every door when you go to the buffet, and they say washy, washy, happy, happy.
See, like, you didn't even bring that up. That's far more interesting than
forgot about
Sbarros in Iceland.
I forgot about it.
Or we can talk about the fact that he would go online for less than 5 minutes just to say, I'm back, and then say, I'm leaving again. Good night, chat.
Well, because I would get on, check what happened in the world, and then leave. I didn't have anything else to say. I would just leave.
We were like, oh my god, Tyler, how's it going? And then the next message from Tyler would be like, alright, bye everybody.
True.
It was like he was dead. Washy, washy, happy, happy. I kept sending this. Doing that. It's so funny. Oh. Like literally. Hold on. Let me see if I can find. Well, here's the Wordle update. So, at 3:52, he's awake and alive, and he sends a chat, and then at 4:13, okay, I'm logging out for the night. Good night, chat. It had been 20 minutes. That was the longest one, probably.
I only had 5 hours of internet to stretch over 12 days. Really, 11 days.
Skill issue. That's on the cruise as well. When you were in the mainland, you could have been like, alright, local Wi-Fi internet connection.
I couldn't get on. Well, I did get on local internet sometimes. I thought I heard something.
You could have walked into Sbarros and used their internet.
That's right.
I did get on.
I want to go to Sbarros now. All this talk is making me hungry.
I did get on some. Did get on the Wi-Fi in some places, like a couple of coffee shops or whatever.
Icelandic coffee sounds so good. I bet it's like regular coffee, but it just sounds good. I'm having a Pringleson moment. They have coffee in Iceland?
Pringleson would never say that.
No, I wouldn't.
Guys, can you believe
Poor
it?
taste.
Can you believe it? Food in Iceland. Oh my god, that guy has a Nintendo Switch 2. In Iceland, of all places. These people are savages. Oh my god, the 4th Sbarros!
I should have bought a Switch 2 in Iceland.
You know, outside of them being probably region locked, and then you bring it home and Nintendo would break up your system, I don't know if buying it from Iceland is the play.
Well, good, because I didn't buy it, so there we go. Now I have to debate, though, if I am going to buy it or not, because I kept saying that I would think about that after the trip, and now the trip is over.
Just wait, man. There's only 2 games on it. Just wait like a year. And in a year,
Oh, god damn.
well, in 3 years, when we get a new president, maybe the prices will be better. Probably not. They won't go down, I guarantee it. But, tariffs be damned. When they raise those prices, they don't come back down.
Nope. Okay, well, that's
Dingle?
all I had to say. So, this episode's getting kind of long, so...
Oh, really?
Kinda long.
Only kind
How many Sbarros? How many Sbarros do you think could fit in this podcast?
5 big booms.
5 big boobs.
What? These 5 big boobs. Booby.
Anyway, thanks for listening to Tyler talk about. This has been Pringleson Reviews the cruise ship, and Lycus and Noah sit there and watch. If you have any thoughts, if you're still here, if somehow you've made it this far and you haven't clicked away yet, comments down below on how many Sbarros are in your hometown. Take us out, Pringle.
It's going to do it for this episode.
Take me to church.
Strollin and Trollin will be back in whenever we are back. Thank you guys
In like
for
2 hours.
listening. Until next time, see you guys later.